So here we are. This is the weekly time frame, and you can kind of see what's been happening. We've essentially been, we've generally been going up, but the market has taken a break. And what it likes to do in general, when you're pulling back and the trend is about to continue, what you generally get is you get the market to kind of hold here. Right, so old resistance becoming future support. In this situation here, that hasn't actually happened. It held here, and then it's closed below, and it's consolidated, and it kind of looks like it could push lower on according to the weekly time frame. And if we just look at where it could go to according to the weekly time frame, you've kind of got that box there, which is say 170. Well, to be fair, it did actually touch that there. So that's kind of, for me, that's a touch. So like, it's possible that the market could go up without going any lower now. But it generally likes to hold on old resistance that becomes support. Now, let's put in a trend line here as well on this weekly time frame, and then I'm going to move over to the daily just so we can get a bit of a feel. So look, in an ideal situation, would it be nice if it came down here? Yes. I mean, let's also take the fib and see where that 618 comes in, which is always popular. I'm trying to see the spikes here. So we've got a 38.2 there. What's that?
Looks like it's in that box.
Yeah, it does look like it. I think that's the 618. Yeah. Yeah, because the 38 must be there. The 50 is there. So the 618 is basically there, which comes in about 180. And so this is the spike. I mean, if you just want to see that. Yeah, so that's correct. So this was a spike there as well. It's hard to see actually. So that's interesting. So that comes in about there around that sort of 180, 182 area. Now, if I just kind of go back to a daily chart here, I'm just going to have a little look at a couple of things here. So I do like that we have, so look, you've got the 200 coming in there as well, which is interesting. But I want to just check something here, guys. I want to see where the predicted fib is going down. So how this works is we have an A, we have a B, and then we want to look at how deep the market went back. So it kind of went back towards the sort of yellowy, sort of yellow-orange area, which is there. And so therefore, we would expect the cycle to complete around where the yellow and orange is, which, if I can just see, it is pretty much somewhere here. So if we just get a little box out. So according to the fibs on this time frame, the down fibs, you'd be kind of looking for this cycle to complete between 150 and 170. And then you've got that 618 around 180. I think you just increase that little box. And I think if you want to start buying Cardano, I would suggest that this is the kind of zone that I'd be looking for as a buy zone. So anything between 180 and 150 looks to me like the ideal buy zone.
You know when you're serious because you put a reminder in for yourself.
Absolutely. And I quite like this. I mean, we've got that trend line there. And if I just zoom out a little bit, that trend line in, if that kind of went down in a straight line, remember this is a daily chart, it would bring you to about 160 right now. So should we go and have a little look at the 4 hours as well, just to see if there's anything else interesting there. So this is our 4 hour time frame. What have we got here? We've got like a bit of a triangle, don't we? So we could, one thing we can do is I mean, I don't particularly love triangles because they're quite subjective. I would ordinarily, I can do it actually. Ordinarily, I'd try and find a bit more of a market angle, which is actually pretty similar, isn't it? If you kind of take that, it's not far off that. So that's kind of confirming that. Right now, it looks a little bit lower. We could, I'm just going to get rid of those. We could measure. So this will be like a different type of confirmation for the potential down target. You could measure the triangle distance and project it from a breakout, and that takes you down to 166. So again, that's all within that kind of ideal entry area, and you could probably find some confluence by connecting these points here. So if you see support, support, and support, that really does look like a really nice zone. So for me, that kind of really just adds to another layer of confirmation to what I've just done here, which is buy between 180 and 150. I think makes a lot of sense. 2 time frame confirmation, pattern confirmation, Fibonacci confirmation, trend line confirmation. That looks like the ideal zone where I would be interested in adding to my position. So that's kind of my thoughts on Cardano as a buy zone. And I know you were kind of keen for me to talk about potential targets, which, a real simple way of doing it, even just a really simple thing to do, is to take this Fibonacci and, assuming it kind of holds within this sort of 618 area, and then just use the projection, that will take us up to between 433 and 514. So if you get a bit of a parabolic move, you'd want to probably expect it to go to this 200, which is about $5.10. And if you get a bit more of a sort of smooth move up, then 433 would be my kind of target.
So with that being said, if time frame wise, obviously you're not psychic, you don't have a crystal ball, but if Bitcoin was to hit that 100K mark by the end of this year, do you feel that that is realistic target for it to hit that $5 zone this year? Or do you think this is even sooner than that, and by the end of this year, Cardano could be higher? What's your kind of feeling on that based on this?
Well, like I said, I mean, the market's quite irrational. So if you just kind of take that, right, that's the end of the year. So that's kind of like what we're talking about. By the end of the year, is it going to be potentially up there?
Fair.
Well, if you kind of take this kind of approach and it just does like a smooth thing, that's not even taking you, even to this target. The most likely scenario, because this is just how things move, is we might get something more similar to this kind of parabolic move, and we can kind of use that as a guide as to how the market might move from this zone. So I'll show you how that works. So you could take, if you have a look here, we went from there to there. It's probably not a dissimilar speed, right? Yeah, so it's pretty much similar, right, in terms of speed. Can you see that? The speed when it went parabolic. So what did it do? It built up energy, 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 and then bang. Energy, 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 bang. And this is doing the same thing here. Look, lots of energy being built, and then we could get the same kind of move. So if that was the case, and you take this kind of area as a potential buy zone, something like that, I mean, that's one thing that could happen, but it could go a lot further. It could go a lot further. And if you if it does kind of do this, I mean, we don't know where it's going to stop, but if you're talking by the end of the year, and you just open that out at that speed, you know, the end of the year could be as high as there, right? Like if that was parabolic for that length of time. Up to now, we haven't had that. If this kind of repeats, it takes you up to about 350 from here, which is still if you think Bitcoin could double from here, or slightly less than double. If you're looking at Cardano at say 170, give or take, you know, that's also a double from there. So look, I mean, nobody can accurately predict because there's always crazy moves. You can do all this kind of work. I mean, one thing we can do, another little thing, is you can measure how long it took, how long it took before we actually went up. And so you have that, and then is it similar here? So this is from there to there. Look, it's very similar, isn't it? You see that? So if you kind of look at how long it retraced before going again, why don't we test that out? Because that's pretty much the same. We could actually have a look. So look, it stopped going up there, right? That would be looking at somewhere there, right? Which is about 26th of October, which can be, that could work out absolutely perfectly. Like, so maybe until, you know, the next couple of weeks, we retrace and come back here, and then bang, 26th of October.
Mark your calendars, guys. And that is why, this is why Yanis is making the comments that he is. My alarms went crazy last night on Cardano. It hit my buy zone. I am long. I can't wait to hear Andy's breakdown. So obviously that helped. And yeah, so that is the prediction. So we're saying on this show, Andy's guaranteeing that this will all happen by the 26th of October. And that is that it's going to come down to his buy zone that he's identified between 150 and 180. If you can get that, that's going to be a bit of a gift, right? Buy in at 150 to 180. By the end of the year, we could look at something along the $3.50 to $5 range.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what we do as technical analysts, we're using the past to identify the future and kind of piecing all these things together, which a lot of people can't do because they just don't have that knowledge. But like, once you piece all this information together, I mean, look, this is really powerful. I mean, I've only just discovered this bit here on this call, so I'm glad that we chose to do this, because that's literally, I mean, this is exactly the same distance before the breakup, same distance before the breakup, and it's not far from there. And you know, it really wouldn't surprise me to see the same thing happen. And then we'll see what happens. I mean, if you buy at those prices, if it goes to 350, you've doubled your money. If it goes to 5, 6, you've tripled your money, whatever, like quadrupled your money. I think you should be happy with that.